Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today from Financial Coffee Channel. The future is not looking good for women. They're the new poor working class. They chose this. Please extra them below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
Hey, what the is going on with America right now? Like, it's so freaking hard to live here. Like, I'm gonna stay
No. I'm gonna shut you the fuck up right now. And it's not that hard to live here. You have not lived in true third world countries. I was born in a third world country, lived there for 5 years. Even though I don't have much memory of those times, I remember it being much, much more difficult than I've ever experienced here in the United States.
positive. I'm gonna keep applying for jobs. I'm gonna keep showing up. But man, my bills are not going to wait.
You ever think about living in Los Angeles? Think again. This is the most lonely place ever, and they make you pay
I lived here most
your
of my life.
arm.
So I'm 25, I have no job, I have no boyfriend, I don't have my own apartment, I'm literally just moved back in with my parents.
25, no job, no boyfriend, living with your parents. Girl, you a bum. Broke, dusty, musty, crusty.
Just now, and everything's sad and horrible, right?
If there's one thing I will most definitely never understand, it's the fact that I work 7 days a week, 120 hours at least every paycheck, every 2 weeks.
Okay, I was gonna say, whoa, you're doing 60-hour, I was gonna say 120 hours every week? What the fuck?
And I can't afford groceries, but I don't qualify for food stamps because I work too much, but I don't have enough money for groceries.
See, this is the problem I have. If you're working that many hours and you don't have money for groceries, what the fuck are you spending your money on? What the fuck rent is you? Do you have? Why don't you just live with roommates? Again, I live with roommates. This is the room I have, guys. $700 a month in Los Angeles. That is a fucking steal.
What do I do?
Okay, so I went to the gym, right? And I knew I needed to go grocery shopping. And so the perfect time to go grocery shopping is when my son is with his grandmother. Why? Because my son hates going grocery shopping. And when I tell y'all, I just spent $350 on groceries. Now, I'm one of them people who like to do big hauls because I hate going back and forth to the grocery shop. I don't know about y'all, but that's just how I do it. I have a son, I have a dog, right? And so after spending that amount of money, I don't care how much money I have in the bank, I hate the amount of money we spend on groceries. Ain't that right? Hate it, right, pup? So, thank you. I love you. Thank you for your support.
See, again, priorities are just so different for Americans than they are for immigrants. I'll share my experience. Again, my family's immigrants, right? I'm an immigrant myself. Only my brother and sister are first generation because they were born here. So when we came here, none of the luxuries, none of these amazing things that we have now were even a thing to us. The most important thing that my dad has always said, food is in the fridge, clothes is on your back, roof on your head. Everything else is a luxury. As long as I can provide these things and these things are here, what else do you need? And that's how I grew up. I had video games. I'm not saying I didn't. My uncle got me a Super Nintendo when I was growing up, and then my cousin got me a PlayStation, and then later on I got my own consoles myself. But it's so weird that people can't get so upset at the price of food when that's the most basic necessity. You shouldn't get upset at that. That's what you need first. Then you can get upset at all the other things because you don't need these other things. You don't need that extra shirt, that extra sweater, that cable that's $120 that nobody watches anyways. All this extra junk that Americans love to spend money on. A lot of immigrants don't. And because they don't, guess what? They're actually pretty wealthy because they just keep all of that money in the bank.
So, to my friends, we got food at home. To my friends, we have liquor at home. To my son, McDonald's what? We got nuggets at home. This ghetto.
I'm really stressed today. I just went to the grocery store, bought 10 items, and it was $80 freaking already.
She's a Filipina.
I literally have $10 left on my account.
But anyways, I got evicted 2 weeks into living here, into my lease, because
See? Having trouble with the lease, but still drinking
so
champagne.
I got evicted 2 months into me living in the unit. It's a townhome.
I moved back in with my parents like a month ago, after being on my own for like a year and a half.
And the other thing is, most other countries, men and women do not leave their parents' house until they get married. Majority of the time. This is, even in my family now, it happens. Even though we live in the U.S., most of my cousins, they don't leave the house until they get married. I was the only black sheep that did it, and I struggled through life, so probably wasn't the best decision.
And at first, I was super depressed about it because I'm losing my freedom, and it feels like such a loser thing to do. But now
It only feels like such a loser thing to do in the United States. Every other country understands it. You save money. It's more practical. The practicality of something is much better than the image of you looking like a loser.
I don't have any bills to pay. And I actually feel very free. I feel quite free. Yesterday, my mom made me breakfast, baby, and I didn't have to do anything. I feel really good. I feel really good. The whole independent woman thing, it was cute. It was cute while it was cute, but I'm having a lot better time not having to pay rent every month, you know? Nothing is my responsibility anymore. And that's actually goals. So I won't be moving out again until I get married. I'm good with that.
The backwards shit that Americans learn after they fucked up. It's so funny that the Americans, they make fun of tradition, they make fun of culture quite a bit, and like the old school culture and stuff. But when you actually realize it, the old school culture is like that for a reason, and it produced much better outcomes. You know, I've never seen someone make coffee with a teapot, an old school teapot like that. I wonder if it tastes good that way.
She's talking about losing her freedom as if she's about to go to jail. Give me a freaking break. These females love to blow things out of proportion. If she cares too much about her so-called freedom, why doesn't she get her own place? But she can because she's broke. You see, they think they can have it all. You cannot live under someone else's roof and claim to be strong and independent. And she also said that she felt like a loser. Guess what, lady? You are a loser. A big loser. Simply because if we reverse the genders and a man say the same thing, they would call him loser as well.
I agreed with this. I would not call her a loser if she was this the whole time. If she stayed home until she got married the whole time, I would not call her a loser. The reason I call her a loser is you attempted to go out on your own and you failed miserably, and then you came back home, and now you're bragging about, being, free when you're home again.
So she gets no sympathy from me.
Hell no.
None. And I've been watching these videos where women brag about being smart because they move back in with their parents, okay? Let's reverse the genders for a moment. Can you imagine if men were posting videos about moving back in with their parents? Everybody would call them losers, broke, dusty, deadbeat, lazy, and that they need to grow up. And by everybody, I mean all women and even men would call those men broke and dusty. Can you see the double standard now?
So I'm a low-income girly. I've been on food stamps on and off for the better part of 6 years. I moved out of my parents' house when I was 20, so I'm 26 now. So I've been on food stamps for about that long. Tell me why.
You've been on food stamps through most of your adult life. Holy cow, girl.
I just got this letter in the mail, and I haven't been on food stamps for about 6 months because I got a new job 5-6 months ago and I knew I wasn't going to qualify. Tell me why I got this letter saying that I owe food stamps $2,095. What the They also don't give any options for payment plans on here, or they didn't tell me why. They were just just pay this balance or it's going to get taken out of your next year's tax return. And the letter came from the collection agency, the government collection agency of food stamps. They have their own collection agency. Also, how evil do you have to be to work that job? I just want to know. Most people who have
It's a job. What do you mean evil to work that job? People didn't pay their bills. I'm not like, why are you upset at people just trying to do their job? If you just did yours and didn't, this particular instance, I get it, but these bill collectors, the whole reason they have a job is because people don't pay their bills.
Food stamps are not like well off enough to even be paying $2,000. Like most of them don't have $2,000 in their bank account. I know I sure as hell don't. Like, since when did food stamps become a loaning service? Since when do I have to pay this shit back? Like, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that I've gotten that much in food stamps. Sorry, my ring light died. They're making me pay back like the whole thing with almost no explanation. And like, they were supposed to apparently send me a letter, because I looked at this up on Reddit to see if it had happened to anyone else. They were supposed to send me a letter about a hearing and all this stuff where I could appeal this. I didn't get any of that. I didn't get any of that in the mail, so I don't know what the is going on. And before anyone wants to say, no, I did not falsify anything on my food stamps applications. I gave all my information to them. Obviously, I didn't, once I was done with my food stamps and couldn't qualify for them anymore, obviously I wasn't telling them about like the jobs I was working then, but because I was done with the program. But like while I was on food stamps, I reported all my income. I did everything right. So yeah, I'm livid right now, obviously.
So I have a question, okay? Well, it's more like an observation and a question. It seems like more than half of women today have at least one nose ring, if not several. Yeah. Now, this is my question. Has it always been like that? Or are we seeing more women with nose piercings because of social media? Yep. Anyway, beside the nose rings that are way too much, wow, I didn't know that you can actually owe money to food stamps. Plus, they actually have their own collection agency. Can you believe that? And just like you said, I think it's cool to ask people to pay back money that they probably don't even have in the first place. That's why they are on food stamps. Correct. Because they can't even afford food. Damn. So basically, food stamp can come after you to pay back money that you owe them. Wow. That's cold.
It just doesn't make sense.
Is anyone else just like exhausted? Like, not tired. It's a deep-seated, like, I feel it in my bones. Like, there's a weight on me at all times. Exhaustion.
Welcome to being a man. That's pretty much how I feel every day.
Like, I wake up every morning and I'm just like, I feel like there's like 40 pounds on me. It's so hard to get out of bed. Like, I open my phone.
I wouldn't say it's hard to get out of bed with those 40 pounds. You just gotta start doing squats. That's all.
Phone
go
or
up,
open my computer to do my little job, and there's just this weight of what is the point? Because no matter what I do, I'm not going to be paid enough. So my every waking thought is just money.
See, that's the part where I feel kind of sad for the younger generation, women too. They just don't see a way. When there's so many ways out here with the internet, learning skills. When I was a kid, the internet wasn't a thing. We just had to learn everything. Hopefully school taught us properly, which they didn't. Now you can literally specialize in anything you want through YouTube, through online courses that are free. And you can get so good at things that you can start getting paid for it. That's the great thing about how everything is set up. But you have to go looking for it. You have to have the drive to want to learn things. You have to have the drive to want to do things. You can't just have a drive to want money and expect money to flow into you.
It's, oh, do I have enough to, be able to eat? Oh, cool. I have to pay my rent and my credit cards. My credit card balance isn't seeing a dent because I can't afford to make the proper payments on it. Because I have to pay $300 for food that's going to last me maybe for a week. Or, if God forbid I want to go out with a friend one night or go visit my family or go visit my friends in another state for 2 days. Well, now I have negative $5 in my bank account for the next week while I wait to get my next meager paycheck that's not going to go anywhere, that's not going to help me do anything. Like, people ask me what I do and I say nothing. I can't afford to go anywhere. Maybe I can go spend $12 to go see a movie, but then I'm agonizing over, well, how much is it going to cost me to get there and get back? Or am I going to have to spend an hour on the train because I don't want to spend $35 on an Uber because I can't afford to spend that $35. And what's crazy is like I'm making the most professionally that I have ever made in like a non-serving job. And it's like when I was making 30K, I had money. I was going out of town. I was going out to places. I was hanging out with my friends. It
I
wasn't
admit
an issue.
inflation has
Now I'm
fucked shit
making
up.
more than that, and I can't afford anything. I can't even afford to breathe. I'm like, I have things that I've had in my wish lists and on my list
Again, wish list, things that you just want to buy. Why? Do you need it? No, you fucking don't. Stop it.
of stuff to get that I can't. I don't have $130 to spare to get, I don't know, a nice rug or a new bookshelf.
Do you need
It was
those
a
things?
splurge. Like I have to plan to buy an essential piece of furniture
I
or to
wouldn't
buy a
call a
$100
bookshelf
plane
essential
ticket to go
piece of
see my
furniture.
friend so I don't sit in my room miserable, falling worse and worse into depression. Like, I don't know what to do. And I guess ranting into my phone is silly or whatever. It's not going to make a change, but
No, it isn't.
I'm tired, man. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Hopefully something gets better soon.
Okay, what she just described is called inflation and cost of living increase. You see, guys, normally people don't have a problem with inflation, but there is a big but, as long as their pay is going up faster than inflation. The real problem is people's pay has not gone up at all, but everything else has become a lot more expensive. Inflation has always been around since forever, but we never really noticed it, simply because people's paychecks had been going up faster and higher than inflation, so it was okay. However, what we have seen over the last 4 years is the opposite. Inflation has gone up a lot faster and higher than people's paychecks, and that's why people are struggling.
The hourly pay for the work that they
Which makes more sense to find someone to split the bills, maybe go 50-50 on things. If you literally split all of your bills down the middle and your bills were $2,000 a month, now it's $1,000 a month, you just saved half your money. And you got some company, and you got company now. You know, someone to cuddle with, kiss on, sex. I see a lot of win-wins with getting together to be a couple and being in relationships. At least my dumbass sees it that way. It might not be the case, but
expect us to do is ridiculous. What do you mean I worked for a whole hour and I only get $15? What do you mean I worked for a whole hour and I only get $20? What makes anybody think working an hour and only handing somebody $15 is okay? In what world are we surviving off that? We're not. And that's exactly why everybody is poor and miserable. Like, it's just not making no sense. Like, make it make sense. Somebody, please, I'm tired.
You just go back to what I've always said. Most women, not all, but most of them, cannot handle the basic responsibilities that come along with being an adult. You never hear men say, "Oh, I'm strong and independent. I pay my own bills. I have my own place. I have my own car." Women, on the other hand, always brag about those basic things all the damn time. These are just normal and basic things that a normal and functioning adult is supposed to do anyway.
you know how many women that love I live by myself. Congratulations, you're struggling to pay those outrageous rent prices by yourself. You think that you telling me that makes me think that you're some kind of smart person or something? Like, no, you're an idiot.
So ladies, stop bragging about having your own car, your own place, or paying your own bill. Why? Because that's what you're supposed to do as an adult. Grow up, goddammit.
The worst part about poverty is accepting that you need help and then applying for said help, which means printing out crap.
Again, complaining about filing and filling out paperwork. If you were poverty stricken in other countries like my country, guess what? You wouldn't be that size 100%. You would probably be way skinnier than me and still surviving with no government assistance, no nothing. You think Cambodians wouldn't love to fill out some paperwork just to get some food? We would love that shit.
tons of documents and pay stubs and finding birth certificates and social security cards and all this other stuff.
Yeah, the word.
And then when you go to upload it to the computer or whatever, the portal is broken. Oh, you can't do it at this time. Access denied. Okay, well then I'll mail it. Or I'll drop it off at the office. Or I'll fax it. I'll find a fax machine. And then you wait. You did all that hard work and you wait and then you get...
You hear that, guys? All that hard work of filling out paperwork, gathering documents that you should have had for your children already. Oh, the audacity the government, puts these women through just to get government assistance. Oh.
Get a phone call or a piece of mail that says you're denied. So I did all that work for nothing. And a lot of the times you get denied, like me today, I was denied for child care assistance because I make $25 too much. Only $25. So now I have to pay $800 monthly for child care because I make $25.
That part I would agree, that's kind of bullshit. Just because you meet the threshold or you cross the threshold by a little bit, you all of a sudden you don't get assistance anymore. That really fucks a lot of people over.
There's too much. Only 25. So yeah, poverty is bitter. I'm bitter today because you just don't get any help.
Now, I want to end this video by giving a big, huge shout out to All Hell M. All Hell M is the biggest supporter of the channel. So thank you very much for your gratitude, and I'll see you in the next video.
Again, Hall LM, I'm so proud of you, man. You must be doing well. He's probably my biggest supporter. He donates to me probably like every week or so, or once a week or so, and he's been donating to the Financial Coffee channel. My man. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Catch you guys next time. Ciao.